Hey, 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 this is Mary here at PDR Interviews. And folks, what I want to do is I want to kill two birds in one stone. So I need to drop an episode on my other podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and use this footage to that, my other platform. That's why I'm going to go play my intro because it relaxes me, even though I can't hear it right now because I don't have my headset. So let's see this. Can you hear it, Maria?
I can hear it.
Isn't it relaxing?
It's so relaxing.
Oh my goodness. So let me go ahead and say hi to you. How are you doing, Maria?
Hey, Mary, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Cool. You know what I like about you is that when I DM you or like when I text you and I say, "Hey Maria, I'm doing an episode. Do you want to come? Do you want to come on?" You're just like a team player. You're like, "Sure, I'm gonna make it work, even though I'm busy. When do you
Yeah,
want? When do you need me?"
yeah, I'm with you. It's like, yeah, I'm with. Hey, Mary, you were so nice to me at MTE. You gave me this salad, and like we're at MTE, and I'm stuck like in this booth all day long from like 9 to 5. I'm stuck here. But Mary comes and gives me this chicken salad, and I said, "Hey, John, I'm going to go eat a salad." That was so nice.
Oh, you're
So
welcome.
you got my back. I've got yours, Mary. I'm
Ex-
here for you.
exactly, because
Yeah.
I was supposed to eat that salad, but then we got busy with the ruffles that me and Christina was doing with
Uh-huh.
Lee. So by the time we finished, it was time for me, Mike, and a couple of people to go to lunch. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to waste the salad. Who can I give this salad to? Someone who's busy and doesn't have time to go out and get some food." And then I saw you, on my way out, and I
Yes.
was like, "Oh, let me ask if she wants the
I
salad."
know. And there you gave me the salad and marched off with your 6-inch tall heels. You look like $1,000,000. How do you do that? I'm
You know,
like wearing my tennis shoes and you're over there in these, I mean, 6-inch heels. You just look like $1,000,000. I don't know what else to say.
oh, thank you. You know what happened? It was that I think on the first day I was wearing it, and by the way, on the first day I wore it all day, like probably 6 to 8
Wow.
hours. And it's actually comfy because it's a platform.
Yeah, yeah.
So it reminds me of the '70s. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll wear
Yeah.
this."
Yes,
But
I've got some tennis shoes like that. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I saw this woman, she totally followed me with her eyes. She's like this. And then I saw her, and I was like, "Yep, I'm wearing this all day today."
All day long.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, all day long. So today what we're going to talk about is basically Mobile Tech Expo then and now. I figured I want to the reason why I invited you is because I think you're one of the girls that I've seen that was at Mobile Tech Expo when I first started attending. Because
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, girl, I can count with my 5 fingers how many women were there when I first attended. And
Mhm.
then when I was surrounded with all these guys, I was like, "Oh my gosh, something's got to change." And sure enough, what happened was after that, I don't know what year was that. I think it was like 2015 or maybe
Mhm.
14.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe even 14. After I attended that, my first MTE, Mike did a podcast. He usually does, just a follow up, just
Mhm.
kind of like a report, talk about it.
Yeah.
And he invited me as one of my guests to ask how I felt, being there. And then I said, "You know what, you know what, wife, women, any women out there, any wives out there, come to MTE because I can't be going to this by myself and with two other women. We
Yeah.
need to invite you guys. You know what I mean?" So
Yes.
ever since then, little by little, it started like growing and like more and more women started attending. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. What do
Wow.
you think about MTE this year?
I thought it was fantastic. I mean, it is a lot of work for a tool company. And we're like, oh man, this is a lot. But it starts up, and I mean, we had a great crowd. Didn't you think? Do you think there were more there this time than last time, or
Yes, yes.
it seemed like a great crowd. We had a great time. Lots of, it was just great all around. Everyone seemed to be having a good time. I didn't hear about any drama, and it was just great. Everybody brought some really neat things. I got, somebody sent me what everybody was, buying, what
Hmm.
all the new tools were. And it's like, it seemed like there were a lot of great new options out there as well. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I felt like it was a great one.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Hold on, okay? Let me just see if we are actually showing live on Facebook. The
Okay.
only reason is because I was going to test it today. Then Mike said, let's see here. Mike was telling me, you don't need to test it. It's going to work. And I'm like, okay. He said, just open another screen that shows that it's going to work. And I was like, I should have probably tested it.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're telling me you don't take Mike's word for it? You have to. I know you, Mary. That is you. You're going to check it out yourself.
Yeah, I have to because you know what? Sometimes, let's see here. Hold on. I'm checking it. Hold on, people. I want to make sure. Hey, okay, so now I see it. We're good
Okay.
to go. Okay, we're good to go. Yes, you're right, Maria. When Mike said it's going to work, sometimes I'm like, I just want to make sure because there
Yeah.
are times that he was wrong. You know what I
Uh
mean? And
huh.
I'm
You
very
want the
detail
proof.
oriented.
You want the proof. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, like what you said, there's more vendors this year compared to the
Yes.
previous years.
A
Have you
lot.
noticed that?
Yes. Yes.
Compared to the dent company, I mean, no, the tool companies
Mm-hmm.
versus the detail companies,
Mm-hmm.
there's more. I mean, it's like, and a lot of people on the first day. I think that was it Friday or was it Saturday? I don't remember. No, I think it was Friday because we spoke on Thursday. That went well, by the way. Then by
Good.
Friday, we did yeah, we went on the floor and it was like almost shoulder to shoulder as far as the crowd.
It was packed.
Yes.
It was. And so,
Yes.
yeah, it felt like it was like that the whole first day. And then the second day, you have, you think usually it really thins out the second day, but we were going the whole day. It was not as packed, but it was continual all day long. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, the first day that I was on the floor, I realized that we are busier compared to last year. And I was already thinking, oh, the tool company is gonna it's gonna be good for them
It
this year.
was.
You
It was
know?
good. We're so grateful. We are. We're like, wow, we did not see that. That was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, yeah.
And the thing about it though, Maria, is that it's gonna get even bigger. Like a real big convention. I mean, I
Yeah.
consider it a convention in our industry because we don't
Yes.
have one. That's why I'm so thankful that Mr. Kevin Hellwood and
Uh-huh.
the wife Karen actually started this because even if a guy, I mean, I interviewed him, even when Kevin started it, the wife, I mean, it cannot be like something as big as this and as successful as it is now.
Hmm.
um it can't just be one person doing it. I mean, there's always have to have like different people like support, right, to make
Yes.
it even better and bigger. And so, and like with me, when I started the business with Mike, I was like, I did a lot of sacrifice, and I'm pretty sure you're in the same predicament,
Hmm. Hmm.
to make the business grow more and to make it more successful. As women that supports our husbands, we have to do a lot of sacrifice too, even the kids.
Yes. Right. That's right. It
Yeah.
does. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of moving parts to make anything great. And I mean, that's one thing that we have going for us. I mean, there's Kevin and there's all these other, all these people that help with the Dent Olympics and all of it. I mean, even with our booth, it's like we, John, it started with just John and I and Jack, and then
Hmm.
it's grown and all these people. want to help you and want
Mm-hmm.
to be there. And I think that's what makes our industry so unique. It's like we have got one another. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we're all in it together. We all want to have a good time and have fun and for it to build, and we are lifting each other up. And I love that about our
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. Like what you said, this year is like no drama,
Yeah.
no bad energy or negative energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
I
it's
didn't.
and
Yeah.
it's better because everyone enjoys the expo when there's zero drama. It's
Yes.
just having fun. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
now I'm realizing, Maria, when I work here in my area, I want to like have fun, but I cannot have fun like when me and Mike were younger. We'd go out to, let's say, the club and dance. I mean, Mike loves to dance. I love to dance. It's my form of being creative.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I get my energy out, and just by dancing. We
And you've
can't do
got a
that
lot of
anymore.
energy, Mary. Woo, you do.
So
But
yeah, that's true. So it's Mike. I
me
have to keep
too.
up with Mike. Mike's got like
Yeah.
the ADHD. He can't sit still. You know what I mean? But but here's the thing: as we got older, we can't go clubbing anymore because we're the oldest one.
Ay, ay,
And
ay.
and then we have kids, so we see all
Mm-hmm.
these kids dressed the way they are. We're like, Mike is just basically like criticizing everybody, and I'm like, I can't bring you to, in a club if you're gonna like, criticizing her outfit because it's too short
Uh-huh.
or it's too,
Uh-huh.
provocative, and I'm like, I can't do that. So
Uh-huh.
my way of having fun now is just going to something like this that we all enjoy, and then seeing
Mm-hmm.
friends and just like hanging out. As we get
Yeah.
older, that's basically what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. um what did you actually like this year as far as MTE compared to the previous years? Because we have new things this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I really like that they do that little tag team thing. And I thought it was really cute that like some of the boys had their wives up there dressed up too, or girlfriends. I was like, hey, but it was just, I think that kind of thing is just neat. They went from Dent Olympics,
Uh-huh.
one person,
Uh-huh.
trying to win for himself. And then they've got these little tag teams, and you've got
Mhm.
Bryce and John. And I don't know. I like that. I don't know that it's not new this year, but I like that they're doing that. And I think it makes it more fun.
Mhm.
And it brings the Dent guys together. And I don't know. I enjoy that.
It's like
Um,
it's like camaraderie. But you know what, Maria, you're right, because I think it is new when the women or the wives starts dressing up with their
mhm,
husbands. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah, John
Because
Bidene's wife, Sally, I mean, she's so cute. And it was like, I love that. It's like she's going to get involved too. She's
yes.
doing what he's doing. And I don't know. It was just really cute. I loved that. I
No,
love
I
it.
like that. I like that too. It kind of evolved because, like what you said, it started with competing individually. Then
Mm-hmm,
it became like a tag team, and
mm-hmm.
I think I think the first time they did that, they started dressing up already. But it's only the two people that are competing, right? Now
Right.
it's like the wives that are
I thought that was cute. Yeah.
yeah. I like that too. And
Yeah.
then we have music like the intro.
Oh, yeah. They're going all out.
And you
Oh,
know what I enjoyed too that I really like is Lee being the VJ. You know what I
he
mean?
does a good job, doesn't
He
he?
does. He does a good job, and he's got the voice for it. He's got
He
the
does.
personality.
He does. I started hearing my name, and I'm like looking over there, and I'm hearing Maria, Maria. And I'm like, where can he was right behind me. He snuck up and scared me to death. But yeah, he's just fun and just kind of, I don't know,
Bubbly.
spontaneous. And yeah,
I like the bubbly
yeah,
personality.
it was fun. He makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we were talking, and then he heard, because I think he was talking to Matt, and Matt was telling Lee the funny experience that we all had when we went to a dent meetup in LA. because
Oh.
we rode the van. This was like, I think a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. And it was in the summer in California. It was so hot with a little humidity.
Mm-hmm.
I to accommodate everybody, I had to use my Odyssey van. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because so that way they don't have to drive. So we're like, yeah,
Right.
well, we can all carpool. But I didn't have an air conditioning in my van
Oh
because
no. Yeah.
I don't usually use it. I have like other cars. Since
Uh-huh.
then I gave my cars to my kids, but that's why I'm using it now and I got it fixed. But back then I have other cars that I was using. So I wasn't using the van for all the time. So I didn't like I didn't prioritize the air conditioning
Uh-huh.
until I gave these guys a ride and it was so hot.
Oh.
And the whole time the traffic in LA was so bad. So Mike and I were calling each other mom and dad. So he was telling the story to Lee, and Lee then was like laughing like hilariously. And then me and him were like, we were kidding around. He's like, so if I see Mike, I'm just gonna call him daddy. I said, yeah, okay, I'll call him daddy Mike. So I think when we were doing the ruffles, he might pass by and he's like, Daddy Mike, where are you? Daddy Mike. No, I don't think Mike heard it.
He wasn't expecting that, was he? It's like,
No, because because people are like coming up to us and it's like daddy and mommy. And I said, yeah, because of my kids. It's not like the
mhm.
daddy that you guys are thinking. Okay, get your
Oh,
mind
yeah.
together.
Yeah. I know though, right? I mean, I call John daddy around the girls, like, tell your daddy this and that. And he calls me mom. Hey,
Uh-huh.
mom, what are you? Yeah. Yeah. It changes. Yeah.
I think they're like trying to like mess with me, and they're like, oh, daddy, big daddy. I'm like, no, not that kind of daddy.
Right. What were they thinking?
Exactly. Yeah, they're trying to mess with me. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, yeah. So Lee was good at what he
Yeah.
does,
Yes.
and that's what I told him. Actually, he moved to California from Texas. He was
Oh.
telling me the story that yeah, and he actually found his girl. She happens to look really, really pretty, like
Oh.
hot. Like he's like, I'm the luckiest man, and he seemed happy. That's good.
Oh. I didn't get to meet her. So, well, that's.
She wasn't there, but he
Oh,
showed
okay.
me. He's so proud of her. He showed me a picture of her,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, good for you, Lee. You didn't expect to meet your significant other over here because he was
Yeah.
he was from Texas. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on. If we can change, or if you can change something, you know, with MTE, what would it be? Because obviously, I like the fact that it's functioning the
Mm-hmm.
way it is now, like a real expo.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's always room for improvements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even with my
Yeah.
business, I always look for things that I
Yeah.
can improve.
Yeah. Well, that's a hard one. I mean, because my immediate thought goes to logistics, and it's like there are several dental companies that are in the middle of the United States of America, and
Hmm.
it would be so nice not to have Jack and Brad drive 18 hours to Florida or whatever, Vegas, to get all the tools there. It's kind of like picking up your shop and moving 18 hours away and trying to make it, it's like,
Uh-huh.
it's a long ways. And it's like you got A1, you got Blem, you got Finesse, you got We're all kind of right there in the Missouri,
Hmm.
Oklahoma. I mean, for me, it would just be I wish we had a place closer because
Hmm.
that's a lot. And
Mm.
but I know for everyone else, they may just enjoy, having a place to take their families, like, to Disney and things like that. So, but
Hmm.
I mean, that's the only thing is for us, it's just a long, long ways.
It's a long drive.
It's a
Did you
long drive.
did you fly or did you drive? Because I saw
John and
your
I,
post.
yeah, John, John and I fly. Yeah, John and I fly, and he makes us take this Allegiant flight, which leaves on a Monday and comes on a Monday. So you're out for a week, which is good. You get a couple days, but he's on the phone the whole time. He's doing work.
Huh.
away from home. Now, on Sunday, right after the MTE, we actually had that one day. We went to Epcot and we did have that one day and it was relaxing. And then we
Oh.
left at 2:30, crack of dawn the next morning to come home. But we did have that one day to really relax.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's just a lot for that,
Uh-huh.
the travel. So,
Um,
but I don't
it
know. I mean, what would you change? What, I mean,
to me,
yeah.
seriously, the Wi-Fi. I
Oh,
was trying to
oh
do
my
my
goodness.
presentation. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Yes. That's clearly more important. That Wi-Fi can kill everything and it
Mm-hmm.
drives us crazy because John was stressed out
Mm-hmm.
before. He was like, we've got to have the Wi-Fi working. We've
Mm-hmm.
got to have, you know, and so mine would work most of the time, but sometimes not. And you want your customers to have a pleasant experience, right?
Yes.
And you're
Mm-hmm.
doing a show, you're wanting everything to run smoothly
Yep. Uh-huh.
and that keeps everybody happy. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the Wi-Fi.
Especially you guys are using credit card machines that's run on Wi-Fi, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that or we went to cellular. It's like so we go to the cellular plan and then I don't know for whatever reason John's wasn't working right. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's just such a delicate balance and if something's off,
Uh-huh.
you know, you you try to play it off like it's no big deal, but your customer is
Yeah,
frustrated and that's
I see what you mean because when I have customers and the customers in front of you, you don't want to like show that you're running through all this. You're
I
going through like a lots of problems. You want the whole process to be smooth for
yes,
them. You know what
smooth
I
and
mean?
happy. They're there to have a good time, and you're there to just enjoy getting to see them face to face and make these connections with them. And
Mhm.
then something goes wrong, and you're like, okay, so you try to work past it. But after a few times, it's like, what,
It
it's
will,
really.
yeah, it will throw you off too. I think as a person who's like trying to run, and help these
I think
customers.
that's why John had such deep creases in his forehead. He was like, I could tell he was aggravated. I was like, oh, honey.
Well,
Oh,
well, I was because I was doing my presentation, and
oh,
we received an email saying that, hey, by the way, we have a Wi-Fi, so if you want to bring your computer and show live stuff, and so I did that, but I didn't know the Wi-Fi is going to be bad until I was doing the presentation.
oh,
Luckily, I was like the whole time, seriously, I was thinking and trying to hide it and scrolling on, scrolling down on my computer. I was thinking, please, God, let it just like work a little bit so I can just show them a little bit more and a little bit more until
yes,
I get through to the end of my
yes,
presentation. You know what I
yes,
mean? Yeah,
yes.
because
I understand that whole praying thing about Wi-Fi and stuff. I do, because yeah, yeah.
yeah. So once that thing is done, then I did an interview with the Hellwood. Mike was with me,
Yes.
and he was trying to set up our system. The Wi-Fi somehow wasn't working to a point that Mike said, "Why don't we just record it, and I'm supposed to upload it later." Seriously, Maria, I wasn't able to upload it the whole time I was there. I
Mm,
had to, even at the airport. This is what I was doing. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's the building, right? Maybe
mhm,
they don't have a good Wi-Fi system here. And I even tried to use my 5G, it wasn't working. Then after MTE, we were heading to the airport. I was counting on like, oh, once they get to the airport, they probably have a good Wi-Fi system there, but it still didn't work. And I even tried the 5G, it wasn't working. So I
mhm.
saw police officer, he's not a security, he was a police officer. And I asked him, I said, how come you guys have a bad Wi-Fi here at the airport? And then he said, well, ma'am, we are actually a small town, and the only reason why we have this many people here is because Disney really is the one that put the Orlando on the map. And you know what I mean? And so I understood that, oh, okay, so it's a small town thing. Their infrastructure is not It's
Mhm.
not up to par to other places like here in California. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, but then that's when I realized I can't function like this and I can't run a business like this when the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi or 5G is not working
Yeah.
up to par to my standard to conduct a business. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm. I do
Yeah.
know what you mean. Yeah. That's the way we felt. We were like, what is this? So, but the thing is though, everybody is in it together. I guess the only people that don't feel that stress probably are the dent techs, right? That are just there to have a good time.
They have a good time. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
sort of
But that's why I was thinking, I was thinking like maybe if they can just fix the Wi-Fi. But then, like I said, what I found out it's not the hotel. It's the whole Orlando.
yeah.
That's when I said, oh, it's their infrastructure. That's like,
Interesting. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because I'm very observant. So I'm like, I'm a problem solver. So right away, I'm like already comparing, figuring out what the problem so I can
Yeah.
pinpoint, you know,
Well, you figure out which place has the best infrastructure that's closer in the middle, and let's do it
and then we'll
there.
suggest it to
How about
Sheldon.
St.
Hey,
Louis, gateway to the west? No, I'm
it's like,
teasing.
we'll suggest it to Sheldon. Hey, Sheldon.
I
Just
know.
kidding.
I
I think,
know.
I think they said that the reason why it's Orlando, I hope I'm not loud. Sometimes when I get excited, my voice is like high pitched. Woo! Uh, I think the reason why they have it in Orlando is because last time I think they tried it at Clearwater, it didn't work out. So I think the reason why they have it in Orlando is because some people can go to Disney World afterwards,
Hmm. Yeah.
or it's close to, yeah,
Right. It's a good place for the family. Yeah.
yeah.
I
I
get
think,
that. I do.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess you can't like have it all. You know what I mean?
I guess you can't have it all.
Okay, so let's see. We got that one. Um, what's new for the tool companies that you've noticed? I have a little note here. I'm reading it
Oh, you
so
got
that way I don't
to know.
forget.
Well, I
Like
tell
what's
you,
new with you guys? You know what I
oh
mean?
man, I tell you what, we have been blessed with just some really great people that wanted to bring some tools to market and partner with us. And they are just the best guys. And, we recently we've had Matt Boyette,
Hmm.
and he and his wife, and he brought his two sons, Deacon and Lincoln, and they worked that booth and showed the new stuff. And Matt's just an amazing tech, and he's got this incredible imagination, and he's so innovative, and he's got all the experience, and he's just got some great ideas. And so he's been coming up with things, and he's great to work with, and he's great at explaining it. We really enjoyed having him at our booth.
Hmm.
And then of course, we've been with John Vidine, the Dent Reaper, and then we've got Rick Hummert. He's just a legend.
Hmm.
And he came out with some wonderful hail tools. And so, we've got, guys like that that just bring things to us. And so that's just a big blessing. And so I don't know. I mean, it's all over the place. I feel like it's everything from, the tips to the tools to the fixing bigger damage. I don't
Hmm.
know. It's really changed. I mean, I think the dent techs are expanding their business. They're doing more than just one thing too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, that's the way to do it, to be able
yeah,
to
be very
survive
versatile. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Because
so
if
too.
one service is slow, then hopefully the other is not, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I
right.
noticed. Our industry have grown so much to a point where, it's not just PDR that we offer. We also offer ceramic coating or wheel repair and all that stuff, you know. And it's not just in this area. I think it's spread through like throughout the whole United States, anyone who's doing it. Like I know some people back east or the Midwest that are offering more than one services
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
yeah.
it's great. You know what I mean? I have always said that for those companies that, the PDR companies, by the way, the one that wants to do retail, if they're gonna do retail, don't drop their wholesale, because I always believe that if for some reason one or the other is slow, then you have something to fall back on, or there's something, whether it's wholesale or retail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it can get competitive out there.
Oh, yeah.
Us-
Yeah,
yeah. Speak,
absolutely. You do. You
speak.
have to be able to offer something that people want. And
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Speaking of that, today I received a call from an insurance company, and I was talking to him, and he was questioning the PDR, estimate, the price that we have had. Mike probably going to cover this on his podcast, but so I was explaining it to him, and I can tell right away this conversation is not going to go the way I
Mm,
want it to go. Then, you know, and then he's like, "Well, let me talk to the person, obviously Mike. So the person that estimated it." So I'm like, "Okay." And I was on my way to the post office. So when I picked up the call, I was driving. I said, "Let me
oh,
just pull over so I can look at this estimate." It's an insurance claim. A customer wants us to repair his car, and it's like he's going through insurance. So anyway, so I pulled over, looked at the estimate to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, right? Because I see a lot of these and I can't remember everybody. Then I called Mike. I did a three-way, and then Mike started talking to him. The guy won't back down too. Next thing you know, these two are like, and I was like, guys, stop.
oh
I was
boy.
like
Now
fighting
you're the
the
mediator, Mary.
I was trying to mediate, or or be the referee, because both of them were talking at the same time. No one's listening to each other anymore.
Yeah.
And I was telling Mike, let me talk to him. And I said, Mister, because I forget his name, but then I realized it was Omar. But he's basically saying that I think your quoted is too high. And then obviously Mike explained it. And then bottom line is, what they're trying to do is do the shortcut of fixing things, because they worry about the bottom number. They
Yeah.
want it to be less expensive. They don't want to pay, a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So they want to do the more invasive repair.
Mm,
But it's not good for the customer, because that's not what the customer wants. And obviously, this insurance company doesn't want to listen. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
So we were just like, oh my gosh, it was like listening to the two guys. And I have never seen Mike like have that kind of disagreement. You know what I mean?
Getting a
With
little
someone.
heated, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, it's almost like, being on the boxing ring, and I'm the referee. It's like, come on, stop.
Well, it's a good thing you were there, Mary. So how did it all end?
Well, it all ended with, like I said, Mike, let me talk to him. And then Mike said, fine, you deal with him. And then he hung up the phone. And then after Mike left, I tried to explain it to the insurance company, because
Mhm.
they already sent us a check, the first one. We're actually, but they obviously it's not the full amount. So we sent out the estimate for the supplement, and he doesn't want to pay. And then I was explaining to him. I said, look, you guys want to take the shortcut. What he wants us to do is instead of doing a PDR, he wants us to buy the parts, replace the parts. It's a fender on the driver's side. They want us to replace the parts and paint it. I'm like, why would we want to do that? That seems to be a lot of work. You know what I mean? Because he explained it to me, which doesn't add up in my, in my head. He said $200 for the parts. And I said, yeah, but that's not OEM. That's probably a knockoff parts. And obviously, if the customer knows this is what you're suggesting, he's not gonna agree to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then and then once we buy the parts, they want, of course, we're gonna take it apart, and then to put that, and then to paint it, and then to blend it. To me, that seems like more money.
Yeah.
But he said, no, it's only going to cost $500 versus to what we're charging.
Mhm.
And I was like, what? And then it got to a point where I said, look, just be happy, because we're talking about $200 difference in estimate here. Just
Uh-huh.
be happy that once we repair this customer's car, he's out of your hair and he's not suing you. What happened is that he's insured, the insurance company's insured client hit my client. So
Mhm.
it wasn't even my client's fault. It was their client's fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said to him, just, kind of like trying to wake him up, make
Yeah.
some, knock some sense out of him. You're arguing with me about $20. If he sues you guy for like not repairing his car 100%, that's going to be more money
Mhm.
if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if just think about it, and he's right on the bat, I knew that he's like playing this game like a power trip.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm an insurance. I work for them. So, you're gonna like do what I say. I
Yeah.
can tell that he's on a power trip.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. How
So
frustrating that must be.
I know Mike was so mad he called his friend.
He's got a vent.
He needs to
Oh,
vent like women. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's one of the stuff that I wanted to like just put it out there. Oh,
yeah,
going back to MTE, you know, there were so many people there, and also so many of our students, coming from Puerto Rico, England. We saw them, Australia, um, Colombia. There's so many of them there. We couldn't even go to like our destination wherever we need to go or even eat because
hmm,
Mike was getting like stopped right and left, and me on the other hand is the
yeah,
same thing. And you know me, I like to talk. So
yeah,
so it got to a point I was telling Mike, come on, let's just like go because people are waiting for us and I'm
yeah,
getting hungry.
yes, yes. I'm sure that's the case with you guys because I know how that can. You almost feel like you gotta. I don't know. It's like we work all day and then you're trying to get to go eat, and it's like you get stopped along the way. It's great though. It's a wonderful thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's you.
It's
There's a lot. There's so many people, and there's so much to catch up on.
uh-huh.
There's so. I don't know.
I mean, I like it. I like it because it's got a good vibe, this MTE. It's got a
Yes.
good vibe. And then
Yes.
it's like you see old friends or friends that you
Yes.
haven't seen for a year. There's some excitement there. And
Yes.
then people that we've trained, we see them there and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
Mike, da, 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 da. And then we've seen people or people have come up to us, and some of them are obviously, like they know Mike because they see him all the time on social media and they say,
Yeah.
oh, I've
It's
seen
like a
you.
celebrity. I mean, you guys are like a celebrity couple. It's like, here they are.
It's more him, you know what I mean? But they say, oh, I've seen you on YouTube or this and that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So sometimes it's hard to remember their name, but it's a good problem, right?
it is. It is. It's a
Yeah.
neat thing, though, isn't it? Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that.
It's good to see almost everyone, this year. There's
It,
only a few that I haven't seen. The
yeah, it
one that
was good to see Ryan Shutt. He wasn't able to come last year, and I was so glad to see him. And so,
ah,
you
is there
know,
a reason? I
the whole
mean,
COVID thing and his wife, I don't know. It was just, I don't think he could get out. And yeah, it was just,
oh,
I don't know. But
yeah.
it was so good to see so many. And
So many,
I
yeah.
love
And
that.
I was also thinking that maybe the reason why that we have more people is because other countries are
Oh,
open
yeah.
right now.
Yes.
Like the
So,
Australians are there,
yes. Yeah.
Canadians, right?
Right. Lots of them. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
South America, Central America,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Which
So,
reminds me, I saw that Denny Espanol, and
as
Manny, and I forget who else. They're
Mario,
going, Mario, yes, they're
uh-huh.
going to start something for the Spanish speaking people,
Hmm.
Spanish speaking dent techs. And so I'm hoping to get in touch with them and work on that a little bit with them. So
Do
I
you
thought
guys
that was
get a lot
interesting.
of Spanish speaking customers?
We do. I mean, we do. And I mean, I use Google Translate online, and
Really?
that seems to work pretty well. Yeah. I'm all the time. They'll ask questions on our Instagram or Facebook and
Uh,
ask if we ship here or there. And yeah, I just use Google Translate. But I feel like I should know, you know, have that second language knowledge, especially since, my mom, right? But anyway, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I'm just wondering how they envision it. What does that look like?
uh-huh.
you know. So,
I think the industry for the Spanish speaking people, they need some education as far as how to not settle and
oh, right,
negotiate your price. I
right,
think that's one of the problems they're running into right now.
right. I think you're right about that. Hmm.
And so because we actually watch Mario, obviously Danny and Manny, you know,
Hmm.
when they spoke, on Education Day,
Okay.
and there was one of the gentlemen who was obviously speaking in Spanish, like fluently, but I can understand. I can't speak it. I can understand what he was saying. And then that's
Hmm.
when I turned around to Ivy, which is Manny's wife. I said, Ivy, do you understand? Do you know how? Are they answering that question? Because pretty much these are the stuff that I think we have talked about in our industry, that when I'm referring to like wholesale or even retail, right? So especially in wholesale, the problem with wholesale is that if you have an account and then a new group of people comes in and lowball the
Hmm.
price,
Hmm.
the dealership sometimes get rid of you just to make room for the cheaper price, right?
Right.
So one of the guy was asking about that, and then I said, well, I know how to fix that problem, dot. But obviously I can't speak it in Spanish.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
these are the stuff that they're having problem with. And if they come, obviously it's going to be more better for the expo as well as tool companies, because it's like more business, like we're doing business globally is just
Yes.
more better, isn't it?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's just me. When you're in business, you can't just think like, oh, I'm only servicing or I'm only doing business in my area. You have to think like global.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what big businesses
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be a good thing, seriously, if they become, where they can use their skill and educate them.
Hmm.
Because if you think about it, over the years, um, it's really changed. The industry has changed, and it went from everybody kind of being solitude or solitary
Hmm.
to working together and making sure that they are paid what is reasonable and
Hmm.
as a professional. And I
Hmm.
feel like that has lifted everyone up.
Hmm.
And so I think they're behind on that because they
Hmm.
haven't been a part of that conversation, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it, this is my opinion. Okay. Somebody can probably argue something else, but we want to have that conversation. Okay. Let's have a debate. Just kidding. The way I see it is that if you settle, let's say someone has a wholesale account, and obviously new people will come in and try to lowball the price, then the market, you kind of like ruin the market as far as pricing, right?
Hmm.
So it's better for these people to be on the same page,
Yes.
because it will only help them to be on the same page. Because if they're not all of if everyone's not all on the same page, then
Hmm.
it ruins your worth or your value as a PDR tech. So
Yeah.
even though someone is saying, oh, his price is lower, in order for me to get to get some business, I have to lower my price. No, in the long run, that's not going to help you. This is what I learned from business. Anyone who's thinking of growing your business and leveling it up or scaling it, you have to think 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You have to
Hmm.
always think ahead in the future. You can't be thinking what's happening now. I mean, yeah, you can still think about that and troubleshoot any problems, but put also the 5 year plan and the 10-year plan. So that way your choices or decision will, you're like building it, like kind of like laying the ground for that future plan.
Hmm.
So some people might say, oh, okay, I need to put food on the table now. I want to fix the problem now. Yes, you do want to fix the problem, but there's always different ways of fixing it rather than just going ahead and lowering the price down. You know what I mean? So that's
Mhm.
why I think these people should have conversation or should have some kind of a platform to talk about it so that way they can improve their business as far as pricing and then the lifestyle. And not only that, um, it will help them also with their self-esteem. Because when you go to a business and say, hey, this is what my worth is, and they're willing to pay for it, what do you think happens? It empowers you, it
Mhm.
motivates you, and you want to do more as far as for your business.
Mhm.
But when somebody lowball you, then right away you're like mentally and emotionally kind of affected. You're thinking like, wait a minute, did I do the right thing? You start questioning yourself. You know what I mean? Did I do the right thing for accepting this? Then eventually that will get to a person and it's just like, psh, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the stuff that I think in our industry, like, obviously the Americans have talked about it because I heard Mike always talking about pricing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what we did in our area too. Some people actually, the reason why I know is because customers would be like, oh, somebody quoted me $50 for this debt. I'm like, oh, really? You know how I deal with that? I said, good luck. But I'll tell you what, if that guy ruined that debt, you can't come back to me and expect me to charge you what I quoted you. It's going to go up. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
now we have to fix someone else's mess. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. You're
So
just going
that
to
will
tell them
get them to
straight,
think,
aren't you, Mary? Just put it down there. Yeah.
huh?
I said, you're just going to put it out there and
Oh
let
yeah.
them know. Yeah.
I just tell it to them straight up. I don't beat
Yeah.
around the bush.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that will get them thinking, oh, okay, I better make good decision then or good choices.
Right. Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, most customers, they've not been in this place before, right? They're just getting a quote and they don't know, you know, they don't know anything about help, they just don't know.
Yeah.
And so that there's someone that's very confident, that's the way I would go. I mean, I would take that person if for,
Mhm.
something cheap. It would just be like, I don't know, this person
Yeah.
acts like they know what they're doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't have anything to compare it with if they
Mhm.
are first time customers calling for
Yeah.
PDR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So moving on,
Moving
how's
on.
the kids? I know you have a kid that's getting ready to go to college.
Yes, I do. So Elena is a senior, and um, it's flying by. It's flying by, and we do know where she's going to school and all of the things. And she's got a program she's going to be in this summer. So she's going to go to like Greece this summer, and then she's going to be a camp counselor, and we're not going to see her. So we're like, oh my goodness, it's going to feel.
Let me ask you, because you mentioned Greece. My daughter mentioned Greece, though. I wonder if it's the
Oh,
teenagers. You know what I mean? What's with Greece? She's gonna go to Greece just for like a one
well,
week or 2 weeks.
it's I should know the answer to that. I want to say it's like 3 weeks or something, but it's for one of the classes. It's actually she's going to a Christian school, so it's like a New Testament class. So
Mm,
she'll get credit for it, but she'll also like study the places where like Paul traveled, and just it's just going to be a really neat experience. And she'll go to Rome too, and other, but it's just, it's an incredible experience. And we're just, yeah. So, but she's always wanted to do big things and travel and stuff. And so we're
she's
really
gonna have.
happy for her, but we're also like, we're not going to see her. Once she graduates, it's going to be,
She wanna go out there and spread her wings. That's gonna be
yes.
fun for her though, to go to
It,
Greece and Europe. I mean,
yeah.
Italy, right? Rome.
Yeah, we're really excited for her. So, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be
Oh,
good.
that's good.
Yeah.
Did you have to help her with the college application and applying and all that stuff? That's a lot of work, girl. I mean,
We didn't, because she just kind of does that sort of thing. She's a planner, and she
uh-huh,
knew where she wanted to go to school. But what she's also been working on are the scholarships. Now we've had to say, okay, you need to apply for this scholarship, and just kind of, have you
hmm
done that? Because she is so busy right now.
hmm
It's like she's extremely busy, and yet she is having to do all this other stuff. And you know about that. I mean,
hmm
your son is off. How is he enjoying his college experience?
well, that's why I want to talk about it because we're learning, that San Diego is not a small town. It's not a big
Mm,
city either. It's just about the right the right city, for us. It's not too big, not too small. We're learning that when you go to a smaller town as Alfred State, they don't have a lot of resources. We kind of knew that already. So we're like, okay, we don't have to have all these resources that you normally have when you're here in California. But
mhm.
the only reason why he went there is because he got recruited, because he's a big recruit for the school. Due to
Yes,
that, not
yes.
a lot of swimmers can be long distance as he is, because not a lot of swimmers last longer in the water.
Uh,
Most of them are sprinters in United States. So the fact that he's got the speed and the endurance, and it's good for them. So
yeah.
so it's good. But the thing about it, Maria, is that once we committed by May, because we committed sometime in March, but then by May we found out that the coach that recruited him was leaving for
Oh
a better
no.
job. And so I had a conversation with him, and obviously he's like 18 at that time. And I said he's an adult now. So I'm trying to empower him and give him the, I guess by giving him the, I guess, the independence that he needs to make decisions for himself.
Hmm.
So I said to him, you're 18 now. These are the stuff that you're going to make decision on. What do you want to do? Because if that's me, I might just probably change my original plan, since the only reason why he was going to go there was because of the coach. But since the coach left, I said we don't really have to really go and move forward with the plan. But then we met the team, and I love the people or the men that are in his team. They're good kids. So
Yes.
he said, Mom, I don't want to leave the kids. I told them I'm going to be there for them. And, they're excited about it because obviously it's a team effort to win conference,
Hmm.
finals and all that stuff. And they're counting on Avon. So Avon said, yeah, I'm going to move forward. And I said, okay. Well, fast forward to now, I'm realizing that the school, I just don't like it. When you have issues or grievances that you want to address, they don't act on it right away. And they haven't had any real coach since last year. So they've been on their own,
Mm.
really. And I'm kind of surprised that they're still doing good. I mean, with Avon, he's like pretty much the initiative. And I've been like kind of motivating him by talking to him
Uh-huh.
and holding him accountable, so that way he can practice you know, outside school and outside practice, because the practice they have right now is not up to par to what they're normally used to, because they don't have any coach. They have an interim coach. But so
Wow.
that's when I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I kind of like, probably, I'm like thinking in my head, maybe I should have put my foot on the floor and say, no, you can't go there. But then I wanted to empower him to have him make
Hmm.
his own decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he made his decision, and this will be a chance for him to grow. I mean, he's had to make, you know, pull himself up and get that extra practice and realize I'm going to have to make up for the deficiency here,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's probably learning some very valuable lessons
Mm-hmm.
in that. So, I wouldn't call it a waste of time or, any of that. I mean, I don't, what's he going to do moving forward? Like next year, what's his plan?
Well, we start looking, originally the plan is to stay there for 2 years and then get his AA degree and come back to California. But if the school is not going to get a coach that they need, then I'm already looking at other options
Yeah.
because I can't have something like this again
Yeah,
by
right.
next.
You can do that temporarily, but it's not a, yeah,
Yes,
not a place
yes,
you want to stay, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
yeah. Because for me, we're always looking for progress and result. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we're the type of people that we want to be like always moving forward and making changes and
Hmm.
seeing it through the result by kind of like measuring whether we're productive or not. And
Yeah.
if we're back in the same situation, then it's just like probably 2 years there, like being wasted. And by the way, we don't have any scholarships on this because usually Division 3, and the fact that he's from Division 1, he kind of like downgraded to Division 3. The fact that this is Division 3, they don't have a lot of scholarships to give out to the athletes, and they did one for academic, but we missed the deadline, so he didn't even make that. So I'm paying out of my own money that I saved up
Mm.
for the kids.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can see why you want to move on. I don't blame you, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I already had college funds put aside for them because I
Yeah.
knew that just in case the scholarships didn't work out.
Right.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
to me, I think Maria, the most important for me is like, you have a business. When your customer is telling you that, hey, there's problems, you need to improve it. You gotta listen.
Yeah.
You gotta listen because if you don't listen, then that person will get frustrated. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
They.
Well, it only helps you to listen anyway because you're going to get better. You know,
Hmm.
they're giving you something that they think is a valid, you
Hmm.
know, uh, helpful thing to do or to
Hmm.
change. And so I think it's very wise to listen to that and
Hmm.
try to make amends there.
Yeah, and I'm the type of person that if I don't, I mean, if I think that someone or a company is not listening, I move forward. I take my business somewhere else because there's
Yeah.
so many businesses out there. It's competitive. I'll give my money to someone else that's willing to listen to what we have to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always for improvements. You know
Uh,
what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So do you want to tell our listeners, because we've been here for 57 minutes and I know you have to go home.
7 minutes.
I know. So do you want to share our listeners or our viewers what we decided to do together?
Oh,
I'll
sure.
let you break the news.
Me break the news. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So I'm not sure I understand it, but we are going to be doing a podcast together,
Yes.
Mary and I. So you can expect more of us together, more of our stories about our kids in college and all kinds of stuff, whatever in business. What else,
Yes.
Mary? What else are we going to have?
Well, like you're actually, I didn't know because it's been a while since we talked to each other. I
I
didn't know that
know.
you're doing the burns survivor. What is this
Yeah.
thing? Can you share
Yes.
it with us?
So absolutely. Yeah. So I am in a hospital, the
Mhm.
hospital where I was hospitalized when I was burned badly. And I'm in a little room that I just kind of snuck into. But
The
I
conference
had,
room.
yeah, it's a conference room. So there was a burn survivor support group meeting tonight.
Mhm.
And this is my first meeting to come to since everything shut down from COVID. So they opened it up. It's going to be the first Thursday of the month at it's 6 o'clock my time, but it's four
Mhm.
o'clock your time. But anyway, so I went to the meeting and met some other burn survivors, and it was really good. It was
Mhm.
wonderful actually, and they even had a guy that is actually still hospitalized, but they were able to get him out of the room and just to come and listen, and he actually shared what happened, and I think it was very healing for him. I
Mhm.
mean, I can't I thought he was so brave to share. I don't think I could have told what happened to me when I was in the hospital. I
Mhm.
think that would have been too much at the
Mhm.
time. And I feel like we're full circle, Mary, because The first time I really shared my whole story,
Was
it
with
was
me.
on your
Yeah.
podcast. And now here I am talking about this, and we are going to start a podcast together. And I'm at the hospital, and I'm next door to the room where we had our support groups. So I'm really, it was a good thing. And
Oh, that's
yeah,
good. So
yeah.
Maria, so this is your first time. So are you going to be going to this every Thursday, first Thursday of the month?
I
And
think I will because like one guy had been burned as a child and he
uh-huh.
never talked about it.
Uh-huh.
And here he is an adult and still struggling.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I know he never went to counseling even or anything. And so he was very hopeful that this would help him to just talk about it. And
Uh-huh.
I think he left feeling better. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. I want to see people heal. I
Uh-huh.
want to help people if I can share any little thing. And I was
Uh-huh.
able to share a few things um, and other people were too, because we've all had different experiences, but we've all had that trauma.
Yeah.
And the feeling of being burned is like the worst, sickening feeling I can even express. And so we all had that bond.
Uh-huh.
And I think I will come as often as I can just because I think it's a good thing to do.
It would be, yeah, it would be good
And
for
I
you
think it
too.
helped me. And it
Uh-huh.
helped me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to share some of these stories with us, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that it was, folks, by the way, this is like a coincidence. It's not like me and Maria like planned this. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna do this on the day that I'm supposed to attend the
Oh,
meeting. It was just
right.
like 2 days ago, I just texted you, hey, Maria, you'll be the perfect person for this because from what I could remember, you were one of the girls that I met or saw at MTE, you
Yes.
know, yeah,
Yeah, I
because
remember your little one. She was so tiny, and I have pictures of her. She's so cute. But yeah, there weren't very many women, were there?
no, I was actually I was shocked. I was like, wow, this like when Mike said there weren't many women. I didn't believe him until I attended my first MTE, and I was like, wow, what am I supposed to do? Well, I got to kid around like the boys. Luckily, I'm like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and that's why I said this is like a sausage fest. It's like 99% men.
Awesome. Oh, Mary, where do you come up with this? That's so funny. Well, yeah, there when I came, there weren't very many women either, and yeah, so that
Yeah, but
has to
then
be
now
cool.
it's more like a family thing, which I like.
Yes, I do too. I do
I
too.
I
I
like
love to meet
seeing,
wives and the
yeah,
the girlfriends and
I
all that.
like
It's
I
just
like
getting
seeing the
closer.
kids too. That's
Oh,
part of
I
it.
love the kids.
You know what I
I
mean?
love the kids.
I love
Yeah.
babies anyway. I saw this little baby with blue eyes, and I have, I'm a sucker for blue eyes. I'm like, oh, this little baby's so cute. Let me just pinch your cheeks.
Yes. Oh, I know. I know they come strolling them in, and just, and the kids look like they're having fun and I
Yeah,
don't know. It's a neat family thing. And I
yeah,
think it's good for the family to see that.
yeah,
Like I thought it was super cool that, Matt had his teenage boys there and they were just selling t-shirts and it's a big family. Yeah, I
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It's exciting. I know. Well,
Yeah.
Maria, I think we're gonna like end this here. I'll let you do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. How do I sign off? This is Mary and Maria,
Uh
and we
huh.
are signing off, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Little
And
Miss
I'm gonna do my outro,
Outro.
my outro music.
Very, very fun.
Yep. Okay. So let's see here.